Hey guys, so this is going to be another one of those really deep, divorcey kind of videos. Again, I'm no expert, I'm just sharing my personal experiences, which tend to relate to a lot of people, unfortunately. This one is going to be about the fear of leaving a relationship because of financial dependency, codependent, financial insecurity, things like that. So these are all things that I dealt with. Now, when I left, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had about, I don't remember if it was 6 months prior, started working at home a little bit. Now, I started for a company that I used to work with the owner of the company. We worked together, and he started a search engine marketing, search engine optimization company, asked if I could, work a little bit for him, and I came on board. I was making, what was I making with him at that time? I think it was like $500 a month. So it was something, and at the time it was huge. It was like, I knew that no matter what my ex was bringing home, that I could buy groceries for the kids. So it was a huge deal for me at the time. And I didn't know how huge it was going to be until later on, So, yeah. Now, the fear of leaving because you can't support yourself or your kids. Now, in my personal case, I didn't want to leave for the longest time because of that. It was something that kind of like, I think, weighed me down. It kept me there a little bit longer. And in some regards, I think it was a good thing because I know I tried everything I possibly could because I was there. And when I snapped, I finally snapped, and that's when I left. But at the same time, I would have left sooner, and, things may have been better if I had left sooner. I mean, you could speculate and think about it all day long, but whoever really knows. I was fortunate enough to, at the time, call my parents and be able to go and live with my parents. I lived with my parents, so there was a 3-month period before I got this place and I got on my feet all by myself. There was a 3-month time period. And in those 3 months, I stayed with my parents for a month. I stayed with his mom for a month, and then I stayed back with my parents for a month. And it's gonna sound horrible. Well, I could stay with his mom, like, indefinitely, like we've talked about, just living together. We get along that well. Where I would love to just move in with them and have it be easy peasy. I cannot stay with my parents for that long. So, and his mom lives in another state, so she lives kind of far away. But there's no way that I could stay. I was done. So, I had talked to my boss, and I stepped up my hours at work. So I was doing a ton of work, and it was enough to kind of make ends meet. Now, YouTube does, is it still a YouTube partner? If you're a YouTube partner? I don't know. It's what it was back 5 years ago. Then you do make a little bit off of YouTube. Now, I know some people make it their full-time jobs. I don't know how. I missed the memo. I don't get it. And maybe somebody said today that I need to buy a better camera. And the thing is, like, as much as I should, like, step up YouTube or whatever, make my videos nicer, you know what? Hopefully I'm relatable in the sense that this is just what it is. But so anyways, my point being is that I had a few different sources of income. I was doing just like little odds and ends, things like that. So anyways, really stepped up that, and I started hardcore on that. So I was able to depend on that, and then I was able to, move out. And in the time that I was with my parents and his mom, I put away every penny that I possibly could. Of course, I still had, like, my cell phone bill, and I had held on to some of the credit cards despite them being, like, maxed out. I wanted to just kind of have something, and I also I saved everything I could, and I paid for the lawyer, and I paid for what else? Lawyer, and I saved up money. Oh, and I bought my car. So those were the 2 things that I did. So I did get a job. But the thing is I think the reason that I was able to, I feel like this video is so all over the place. I think the reason that I was able to do it is because I had somebody I could go to. And I'm hoping that a lot of people do. I'm hoping that you have a family member you can go to or turn to, maybe a member of a church, somebody from, a good friend, family. I mean, I know I said family already, but family, just somebody that, you know, you could stay with for a little bit, help out. In return, when I stayed with my parents, they had fired my parents had a housekeeper, like, isn't that everybody's dream? And they had she was breaking something. Every week they came home to like a pile of broken glass and an apology, so they finally had to let her go. But I took over all those responsibilities, so I did a ton. They don't like my cooking, but I did a ton of cooking and cleaning and all the cleaning, a lot of the cooking and things like that, you know what I mean? So maybe you could somehow find yourself, you know, while you're getting a job or while you're staying there or whatever. So anyways, again, kind of off topic. I know I'm good at that. But yeah, so I was able to stay with them, which made all the difference for me because I was able to save money and kind of get myself on my feet and get my income increased in, you know, maybe somebody else's situation who's been a stay-at-home mom. Maybe, you know, you find a job and you get back out there, and it's so scary. It's so scary. And, you know, there's times, and you guys, I've shared this journey with you guys, where now I'm working bazillion jobs because the position that I was doing when I moved out, they ended up staying. I was telecommuting. They ended up kind of bringing everything local, just I've talked about it, tons of changes. And that job, is like nothing anymore. So, another option, watch kids. That's something that I'm doing. That's kind of an easy one as far as like, you know, making it work there, but having more income, hopefully you get child support if you have kids. But yeah, I think just knowing and having faith, the fact that you will figure it out and it will all work out, and, you know, you'll make it work. Like, you will get by, and it's hard, but you will get through, and the next day will come, and you know, it'll all work out. I think just having faith in that is a big one, because it's very scary. It's so scary. And to open up about your problems is really hard. And oh man, that was probably like one of the toughest ones for me, is just sharing with my family everything that had been going on, and them being amazing enough to just open their door to me and the boys and, you know, do that. Luckily, I'm close with my family, and I know that's not the case for everybody, but you know what? I mean, if you're in that position, you cannot just be. And somebody suggested a book, and if you're watching this video, please leave it below, because I actually still want to read it, and it's about codependency and things like that. And it was hard. I mean, before I quit to be a stay-at-home mom, I had a fantastic job. Now, it's not the same because of the economy that it used to be, but you know, I left that job. A little piece of advice, and somebody left this, and it became quite a controversial topic on my divorce video, but they asked if I was educated and I had any work history. Now, fortunately enough, I do have my degree. I have my bachelor's, and I did have 10 years of work experience with a great company. So fortunately, I did have that, under my belt. I know that, again, is not the case for everybody, but I mean, there's so many opportunities out there, and there's so many things that you can do. And, you know, I'm hoping, like I said, I hope that one day I can go back and get my master's and just kind of better myself for the sake of the boys. I mean, I don't feel like I can just live like this forever. You know, I still struggle yet. I'm getting to a point now where I can actually like get by and, you know, not have to like sell things just to, you know, be able to pay rent at the end of the month and things like that. So I'm finally getting to a point where I'm kind of like breaking even every month, which is still a very, very scary place to be. But, you know, it's just, I don't even know. See, this is one of those videos where I have so much to talk about. I have so many things to share that I just throw up all this information at you guys. And it's like, I hope that you can like kind of sort it out. Like, I feel like I'm talking about 10 things. Yeah. Anyways, though, selling things that you have, you'd be surprised by the amount of money you have sitting around your house. I have a pile, like literally right next to me, of clothing. I was gonna say clothing, but clothing, toys, and the last one is things from my sister's wedding. But you'd be shocked by the things that you could sell that you just have laying around your house that you're not using and that you could get money for. It's mind-blowing, and it's saved my booty more times than I can I could ever tell you. And in fact, I keep a small envelope of things. When I'm looking to buy things, I look to, you know, listings or things, you know, just whatever. And I keep this little tiny envelope. There's never like more than $50 in it. But for example, I sold a coffee table that was sitting in my garage, a coffee table and an end table for $100. And then I bought a bike trailer off of Craigslist. And now I'm looking for a bike for under $50 so that I can do that. I just sold my my learning tower. Sounds so funny. And that was a very hard thing to sell. But I sold my learning tower for, we weren't using it, haven't used it in a year. I have to stop being sentimental about it. But I sold that for $67. I was asking $75. She offered $60 and I suggested we meet in the middle. So I've got $67 put aside for an organizational system for that thing. So, I mean, there's so much that you can do to just be able to, you know, to take that leap. And maybe you have your, if it's bearable and safe, you have your plan to leave, and, you know, you sell those things, you do what you have to do to get out. I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to share advice because everybody's situations are so different. But I think my best piece of advice is share with a friend, share with a family member. And yeah. So anyways, that's how I did it. Hopefully something in there helps. I'm sorry. I feel like I should record this video, and like now that like I said, I just press record and I just go. And whatever comes out is what comes out, and sometimes it's a mess. So anyways, though, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.